All right, today we're jumping into something that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us, our digital identity. We're going to unpack a new kind of technology called UIID and look at how it's setting the stage for a whole new version of the internet, something they're calling Web 4.
So let me ask you something. How many passwords do you have? 10, 50, 100? And how many data breach notifications have you gotten for sites you barely even remember signing up for? It feels like we've basically just handed the keys to our entire online lives over to a few huge companies and are just crossing our fingers they don't mess up. It really makes you stop and think, who's really in control here?
Okay, so before we get to the cool new stuff, we've got to understand why we even need it. Let's call this section 1 the password problem. Or to put it more bluntly, why the way we do things right now is just completely broken.
And here's the heart of the problem, right? Your personal info isn't tucked away in one safe place. No, it's scattered all over the place, on hundreds of different servers owned by hundreds of different companies. Your identity is shattered into all these little pieces, and each piece is protected by a password that's honestly more of a risk than a defense. The system isn't just annoying, it's fundamentally insecure.
But what if we could just scrap that whole system and start over? Well, that brings us to section 2, a new digital identity. And we're going to be talking about something called UIDD. It stands for Universal Integrated Identity Decoupled, and it's a technology from Linkspree that's designed to fix this password mess from the ground up.
The big idea behind all of this is something called self-sovereign identity, or SSI for short. And the name really tells you everything you need to know. It's a way of thinking where you, and only you, have total ownership and control over your identity. No big tech company, no third party, just you. It's all about putting you back in the driver's seat.
Okay, so you're in control sounds great, but how does it actually work? Well, in section 3, we're going to break it down. It all rests on 3 main pillars that together create your digital sovereignty. Let's walk through them.
First up, a decentralized architecture. And trust me, this is a total game changer. Instead of your data living on some company's server just waiting for the next big hack, your most important info lives in a private identity vault right there on your phone or your computer. It's like having a super secure digital passport wallet that literally no one else can open but you.
Pillar 2 is decoupled identity. And this is where your privacy gets a massive upgrade. Every time you interact with a service online, you use a unique and untraceable alias. Just think of it like this. You get a brand new, completely anonymous nickname for every single website you visit. This makes it practically impossible for companies to track you across the web and build those creepy, detailed profiles on you because your real identity is totally decoupled from what you do online.
And the third pillar, this one's pretty cool, uses some really clever math called zero-knowledge proofs. Now, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. It lets you prove something is true without actually revealing the secret information. So for example, you can prove to a website that you're over 18 without ever showing them your ID or telling them your birthday. It's like having an official card that just says, yep, they're over 18, and that's all the website needs to know. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little bit like sci-fi, right? Some far-off future thing? Well, it's not. And that brings us to section 4, the launch of version 1.6. This is the update that takes all these ideas and makes them a real, usable thing today. Yep, UIID version 1.6 actually dropped back in November of 2025. So this isn't some concept on a whiteboard. These features, this control, it's out there right now. So what exactly came in this big update? Well, a few key things. A much better mobile experience, some powerful new ways to control your aliases, and, this is huge, new tools for developers to start building this new Web 4 internet. But we're going to zoom in on those new alias controls, because that's where you, the user, really get to feel the difference. And that brings us to what I like to call your new superpowers. Seriously, this is all about the incredibly specific, fine-tuned control you now have over every single connection you've ever made online. Let's break down these controls, because this is where you really feel the shift in power. First, there's pause. Let's say an app is getting spammy or you just don't trust it for a bit. You hit pause and boom, their access is instantly cut off. Done. Then you have archive. You know all those old services you signed up for once? Instead of trying to find the delete account button, you just hit archive. It cleans up your list. And then there's lock. This is for the really important stuff, like your bank. You can lock that alias down with a special cryptographic key, making it unbelievably secure. Okay, but here comes the really important part. a warning, actually. With all this power comes responsibility. If you use that lock feature on an alias and you lose that unique key, it's gone, forever. And everything connected to it is gone too. There's no "I forgot my password" link, there's no customer service to call. When you are truly in control, you are also truly responsible for not losing the keys. You see, this whole system is so much bigger than just a better way to manage logins. It's really about building the infrastructure for a totally new internet. And that's Section 6, building the next web, and seeing how UID is laying the foundation for Web 4. And this is why it has the potential to change everything. With the new developer tools, it becomes super easy for any app or service to plug into this system. You could think of it like this. Web 2 was the corporate web. Web 3 was about decentralizing assets. Well, Web 4 is about making it the user-centric web, where your identity is the core. Apps can connect to your UIID with no friction, but they have to respect the rules you set. You pause an alias, they are cut off, period. It creates a world of secure, password-free connections, which could really drive this whole thing mainstream. And that really brings us to this quote, which just sums it all up perfectly. The end of passwords and the beginning of true digital sovereignty. I mean, it's a huge claim, but as you can see, the technology has been built from the ground up to actually make it happen. So that leaves us with one final thought, and it's really a question for you. This whole new way of doing things puts all the power, all the control, and yeah, all the responsibility right back into your hands. So the question is, are you ready to truly own your identity? Thanks for tuning in.